Welcome back to Old Coins Explorer, where we explore interesting American coins, their history, rarity, errors, varieties, and real market value. Today we have a 2000 D Kennedy half dollar, and this coin may look ordinary at first, but there are several important details every collector should know. Before you decide that this is a rare or extremely valuable coin, stay with me because we are going to examine its date, mint mark, metal composition, design, condition, rarity, and possible value. The most important question is not simply whether the coin says 2000 D, but whether its condition and any genuine mint-made variety can make it worth more than face value. And here is the big hook: a 2000 D Kennedy half dollar is normally not a silver coin, but a high-grade example can be dramatically more interesting than an ordinary circulated piece. According to PCGS, the 2000 D issue had a mintage of 19,466,000 coins, so this is not an ultra-low mintage coin in the normal sense. However, PCGS also describes the 2000 D as one of the tougher Kennedy half dollar issues from the 1990s and later when it comes to very high grades. That means condition becomes extremely important when evaluating this particular date. So, if you have a 2000 D Kennedy half dollar sitting in a collection, coin jar, drawer, or old box, do not judge it only by its face value. In this video, we will separate the real facts from the viral coin value claims, so make sure you watch until the end. Identifying the coin. The coin shown here is a United States Kennedy half dollar dated 2000 with AD mint mark, indicating production at the Denver Mint. The denomination of the coin is 50 cents, which means its official face value is 50 cents. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy, which has appeared on the Kennedy half dollar since the series began in 1964. Around the portrait we can see the inscriptions "Liberty" and "I in God We Trust," while the year 2000 appears near the bottom of the design. The small d mint mark identifies the Denver production facility and is one of the first things collectors should check when identifying this particular issue. The reverse of the Kennedy half dollar features the presidential seal design, including an eagle, a shield, stars, arrows, and an olive branch. The design was created by combining the work of two important American coin designers, Gilroy Roberts and Frank Gasparo. PCGS lists the 2000 D Kennedy half dollar as a Type 3 copper nickel-clad Kennedy half dollar. Its standard diameter is approximately 30.61 millimeters, and its weight is approximately 11.30 grams, with a reeded edge containing 150 reeds. These specifications are useful because weighing and measuring a suspicious coin can sometimes help identify an altered, damaged, or counterfeit example. Is the 2000 D Kennedy half dollar silver? One of the biggest questions surrounding Kennedy half dollars is whether they contain silver, and this is where many online videos create confusion. The original 1964 Kennedy half dollar was made of 90% silver, while later Kennedy half dollars changed composition. The 2000 D Kennedy half dollar shown here is not a 90% silver Kennedy half dollar. PCGS identifies its composition as 75% copper and 25% nickel over a pure copper center. This means the shiny silver appearance of the coin should not automatically make you believe that it is a silver coin. The copper-nickel outer layers give the coin its familiar silvery appearance, while the center is made of copper. One useful test is to inspect the edge of the coin, because a normal clad half dollar can show the layered construction around the edge. Collectors should also avoid relying only on color because lighting, polishing, toning, photographs, and environmental exposure can dramatically change how a coin appears. If you want to verify the metal composition professionally, a qualified coin dealer or professional testing service can provide more reliable information than a visual inspection alone. So, for this 2000 D issue, the important point is simple: its collectible potential comes primarily from condition, scarcity in high grades, and possible genuine errors or varieties, not from silver content. Mintage and rarity. Now let us talk about one of the most important subjects for collectors: mintage. The 2000 D Kennedy half dollar had a reported production of 19,466,000 pieces at the Denver Mint. That number is large enough that we should not call every 2000 D Kennedy half dollar a rare coin. In fact, ordinary circulated examples are generally obtainable by collectors without enormous difficulty. But mintage is only one part of the rarity equation, and this is where the story becomes more interesting. Millions of coins may have been struck, yet only a much smaller percentage may survive today in exceptionally clean, high-grade condition. PCGS specifically notes that the 2000D can be challenging in very high grades compared with many other modern Kennedy half dollars. This is why a circulated 2000D and a superb uncirculated 2000D should not automatically be valued the same way. Collectors should therefore look closely at the surfaces, luster, contact marks, hair detail, cheek area, fields, and overall eye appeal before deciding what they have. The lesson here is that a coin does not need a tiny mintage to become interesting. Exceptional preservation can also create scarcity. Condition and grading. Condition is probably the most important factor when discussing the potential value of the 2000D Kennedy half dollar. A coin that has spent years circulating through pockets, cash registers, machines, and other handling environments can develop scratches, marks, wear, and loss of original luster. On the other hand, an uncirculated coin can retain much of its original mint appearance and may qualify for an MS, or mint state, grade. Professional grading companies such as PCGS and NGC use standardized grading systems to evaluate coins and distinguish different levels of preservation. For the 2000D Kennedy half dollar, this distinction can be especially important because high-grade examples can be much more desirable than ordinary circulated pieces. PCGS records an auction result of $960 for a 2000D Kennedy half dollar graded MS-67, sold by Heritage Auctions in October 2018. That does not mean every MS-67 coin will sell for $960 today, because auction prices can change depending on the market, certification, eye appeal, timing, and buyer demand. It does demonstrate, however, why collectors should not assume that every modern coin is automatically worth only 50 cents. Current price guides also show substantially higher values for top condition examples than for ordinary circulated pieces. So, if your coin appears nearly untouched, do not clean it, because cleaning can damage the original surface and potentially reduce collector appeal. What about the viral error or strong hook? Now we come to the part that can make a coin video go viral: errors and varieties. You may see online claims saying that a particular 2000D Kennedy half dollar has a rare error worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. But collectors need to be extremely careful because not every unusual looking mark is a mint error. A scratch caused after the coin left the mint is not normally considered a valuable mint error, and neither is ordinary damage from circulation. Likewise, discoloration, dents, scratches, fingerprints, cleaning marks, and random gouges should not automatically be described as rare varieties. A genuine mint error generally has to be connected to something that happened during the manufacturing process at the mint. For example, recognized errors can involve planchets, striking problems, clips, die-related issues, or other documented production abnormalities. Coin World lists documented examples of unusual 2000D pieces, including a 30% clipped planchet graded MS-66 by PCGS, which sold for $240, and an improperly annealed or sintered planchet example graded MS-64 that sold for $84. Those documented sales are very different from simply finding a strange scratch on the portrait or a mark near the lettering. Therefore, if you believe your 2000D has a strong hook, unusual doubling, a missing design element, or another spectacular error, the safest approach is to have the feature examined by an experienced numismatist or professional grading service before assigning it a high value. Realistic value of the 2000D. So, how much can this coin actually be worth? The honest answer is that the value depends heavily on condition, originality, certification, and whether the coin has a genuine recognized error or variety. NGC's current guide information gives circulated 2000D Kennedy half dollars a value around 55 cents to 65 cents, while pristine uncirculated examples can reach substantially higher levels. Other market guides show that uncirculated and certified coins can range from a few dollars into significantly higher amounts depending on grade. PCGS's price guide likewise shows a major difference between lower mint state grades and the finest examples listed for the 2000D issue. This means it would be misleading to say that every 2000D Kennedy half dollar is worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. At the same time, it would also be incorrect to say that every example is worth exactly 50 cents regardless of condition. A normal circulated specimen may be close to face value, while a beautiful certified high-grade example can attract much more collector interest. A genuine mint error can create another level of premium, but the exact value depends on the type and severity of the error and the market for that variety. Therefore, the best approach is to identify the coin correctly first, evaluate its condition second, and investigate any suspected error third. How to check your own coin. If you have a 2000D Kennedy half dollar at home, there are several simple things you can check before taking it to a professional. First, confirm that the date is actually 2000 and that the mint mark is D. Second, inspect the coin under good lighting and use magnification if necessary, but avoid touching the surfaces unnecessarily. Third, examine Kennedy's portrait, especially the hair, cheek, jaw, and other high points where circulation wear and contact marks can become visible. Fourth, inspect the fields around the portrait because deep scratches or marks can affect both grade and eye appeal. Fifth, look at the lettering and date for possible doubling, but remember that true double dies have specific characteristics and should not be confused with machine doubling or post-mint damage. Sixth, check the edge for damage and for anything that appears inconsistent with normal clad construction. Seventh, weigh the coin if you have a reliable digital scale, keeping in mind that minor differences can occur from wear, manufacturing tolerance, and measurement equipment. Finally, if the coin appears exceptionally clean, unusually sharp, or contains a potentially significant mint-made error, professional authentication and grading may be worth considering. Most importantly, never polish, scrape, scratch, or chemically clean the coin in an attempt to make it look more valuable. Final verdict and outro. After looking at the facts, the 2000D Kennedy half dollar is best described as an interesting modern collectible rather than automatically calling it an extremely rare jackpot coin. Its mintage of 19,466,000 means that ordinary examples are not considered extraordinarily rare simply because they carry the 2000 date and D mint mark. However, the issue becomes much more interesting when we look at high-grade preservation and genuine mint errors. The coin is a copper nickel-clad half dollar rather than a traditional 90% silver Kennedy half dollar. Its standard specifications are approximately 30.61 mm in diameter and 11.30 grams in weight, with a reeded edge. The strongest evidence for significant value comes from professionally graded high-condition examples and authenticated error coins, not from viral claims alone. The MS-67 auction record of $960 shows that an exceptional certified example can command a substantial premium, but that result should never be treated as the guaranteed value of every 2000D coin. If you own one, check the condition carefully, preserve the original surfaces, and compare your coin with reliable references before selling it. And remember, the difference between a normal 50-cent coin and a valuable collectible can sometimes be found in details that are almost invisible to the naked eye. If you enjoyed this investigation, make sure you subscribe to Old Coins Explorer, because we will continue exploring American coins, hidden varieties, mint errors, historical pieces, and the real facts behind viral coin value stories. Strong closing for viewer engagement. Before you leave, take another close look at your own Kennedy half dollars because the next valuable coin could already be sitting in your collection. The 2000D may not be a silver coin, and it may not be automatically worth hundreds of dollars, but its high-grade examples and genuine mint errors make it a date worth understanding. The most important lesson from this coin is that condition, authenticity, and documented rarity matter far more than internet hype. If you find an unusual mark on your coin, do not immediately assume it is a rare error worth thousands. Instead, photograph both sides clearly, check the edge, record the weight, and compare the feature with trusted numismatic references. If the coin looks exceptionally sharp and untouched, preserve it exactly as you found it and consider professional grading. And if you believe you have discovered a genuine mint error, authentication can make a huge difference when determining whether the feature is actually valuable. Here at Old Coins Explorer, our goal is not just to say that a coin is valuable, but to explain why it may or may not be valuable. So, if you have a 2000D Kennedy half dollar, look at it again after watching this video and see whether your coin has the characteristics we discussed today. Thanks for watching Old Coins Explorer, and remember, check your coins, protect your coins, and never ignore the small details, because that is where the real story can begin.